Welcome. My name is James Boland, and I'm the founder and president of the Australian Community. Today's video is part of a series designed to help Australians understand the US job market. Today, I'll be covering the importance and interdependency between your resume and your LinkedIn profile. Firstly, in the US, a CV is called a resume. Your prospective boss may have graduated magna cum laude, but if your resume is titled Curriculum Vitae, you're going to cause confusion unless you're applying for a role in academia. As you may have already gleaned, job applications in the US are online. This is deliberate as very few organizations have the time to manually read and rank resumes. Employers extensively use machine reading to rank the resumes of prospective applicants. Therefore, to be effective in landing an interview, your resume must contain keywords from the job description. How many of those keywords are present in your resume will determine where your resume sits in the virtual pile. Now, we're all familiar with SEO and keywords in ranking web pages. Well, you need to think in the same terms for your resume. The good news is that you are given the keywords in the JD, and they are in the skills, experience, and qualifications the job description is requesting. If the job states MBA preferred, be sure that MBA is included under your qualifications rather than Master of Business Administration. If the JD lists required skills, make sure that you list all that are applicable and are in clear text in your resume. Secondly, a resume is only one page. I hear you ask, how is it possible to get all of my work history on only one page? And that's a good question. The answer is you can't. However, only including the past 10 years on your resume is a start. Now, rather than listing all of your achievements on your resume under each role, pick the top 3. This will create impact and keep your resume under a page. Also, use a left or right-hand column for items such as contact information and listing skills. Do not make the rookie mistake of listing responsibilities. Responsibilities are not as impactful as achievements. For example, saying you were responsible for driving sales in an underperforming territory is not as impactful as saying consistently exceeded my territory sales goals by more than 30% year over year. When a resume is eventually forwarded to human resources, the first thing HR will do is look at the candidate's LinkedIn profile. They want to better understand your work history and your background information. There, you can list your work history greater than 10 years. Your career history, dates of employment, etc. on your LinkedIn profile must be in lockstep with your resume. If dates or titles or information is inconsistent between your LinkedIn profile and your resume, this will cause confusion, and again, confusion is a bad thing. Think of your resume as a subset of your LinkedIn profile. Your resume's sole purpose is to communicate that you possess or exceed the necessary qualifications, experience, and skills for the role. Moreover, you can list all of your additional courses, volunteer work, references from coworkers, etc. on LinkedIn. This is information irrelevant to a machine, but important to a human. Now, most Australians watching this are 0 for 3. In other words, you have CV in your title, it is 3 or so pages long, and your LinkedIn profile is almost non-existent. It is a considerable investment of time in having an impactful resume and LinkedIn profile, but I can assure you it is essential to landing a role in the US. More good news for those who have no idea how to create a one-page resume is that Microsoft Word has a number of resume templates. There are also some great examples to be found on the web. My experience is that a good resume contains a career objective, skills, education, and career history sections. Listing that you enjoy long walks on the beach or volunteer at an animal shelter is irrelevant to a machine. With regard to career objectives, it should list 3. If you are applying for a global head of communications position, then be sure to list that being a global head of communications is among your career objectives. Some resumes have a graphical representation of skills, but in any case, be sure that any applicable skills listed in the JD are reflected on your resume and are machine readable. This will assist your ranking. This leads us to another important consideration. Most people have a standard resume and include a custom cover letter to emphasize their skills for a given job application. However, this assumes that the machine reads your cover letter. You therefore have to tailor your resume to each application using keywords from the requirements in the job description. For any Australian applying for a role in the US and does not yet have work authorization, you need to address the issue of sponsorship. We have covered why an E3 visa is not sponsorship in another video, and the link is in the description below. One way to address the fact that you do not need an H-1B visa, aka sponsorship, is to state under a heading on your resume, work authorization, I am an Australian citizen and I automatically qualify for an E3 visa. I do not require sponsorship on the H-1B visa. This assumes, of course, that you have a bachelor's degree or work equivalence in the field for which you are applying. Our recommendation is that you consult with a legal professional on any matter involving work authorization and visas. Other important considerations for your resume is to be sure that it is spell and grammar checked using US English. It is formatted in US letter and it is in a PDF. There should also be hyperlinks to your email address and your LinkedIn profile. The last thing you want is HR spending time out of their busy day searching for your LinkedIn profile. Including a QR code to link to your LinkedIn profile assumes that your resume is being viewed on paper, but no one is taking out their cell phone to read a QR code on their screen. Be sure there are no +61s or .com.aus on your resume. If you want, you can also include social icons with links to your social media. Often, employers ask for this information. Certainly, Customs and Border Patrol will ask when you enter the US, so be sure there is nothing in your social media that would preclude you from a job or entry into the US. We cover these topics in our immigration updates, which we highly recommend you watch. Again, a link will be in the description below. Thank you for watching, and please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive notifications when new content is posted. Thank you.